Welcome to Dove Speaks. This is still the Black History Month. This is the month where we actually highlight the Black excellence, Black identity, and Black achievements. This very year, we're taking a paradigm shift. We are not focusing on our pain and struggles. We are focusing on our success stories, our resilience. And that actually takes me to this very, very interesting and educative interview with the great-grandson of Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois. Do we have Jeffrey on the line?
You do. You have Jeffery Du Bois Peck on the phone.
Great. You are most welcome to the Dove Speaks show.
I'm just so honored to be on your show to talk about my legendary great-grandfather, Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois.
Exciting. You know, sometimes I wonder, like, what does it even feel like being the great-grandson of Du Bois? Like, what does it mean to you?
It's a lot of pressure, I think, because I'm always asking myself, what would he want me to be doing right now in this environment? And he was so active and did so much in his 95 years of living that I feel like I'm way behind, like I'm chasing his ghost. So it is pressure, but it is also very special to be a part of a family that works so hard for other people and civil rights for people of color. It's truly an honor.
We undoubtedly have the Du Bois Museum here, and of course, which would actually bring you back home. But for you personally, what do you think was that driving force of an inspiration that inspired you to come back to Ghana?
My mother wanted to take the trip back in 2021 to Ghana and see her grandfather's final resting place. But because of the pandemic, she was unable to go. And we wanted to come and view it together as a family.
Okay.
And so my mother was suffering with cancer at the time. And by the time that she was able to travel, it was too late. Her health had declined and eventually she passed away. But one of the requests that she had before she passed away was that I come back to Ghana in her place and make sure that her grandfather's final resting place was sufficient to the man that he was. And so that was my driving force to come back, was the promise that I made to my mother that I would make trips to check on him. In the process, I joined the Museum Foundation. I'm a direct board member, and I'm the family representative on the board. And I'm just excited about the future of this new museum that we're going to build. And I believe that it was God's will that Du Bois passed away there, because now we have a reason to not only come and see him and check on him, but to find out about our beginnings and find out about our Sankofa and find out about where we as a Black people came from in our culture that we have somewhat been stripped of when we were brought to America. So it's so much tied up in why we come back, but the main thing is we were African before we were anything. So Africa means the world to us, and we should want to know more about our history.
We should want to know more about our history. Oh, that's very deep. Now, I'd like us to dive into your foundation, the Sankofa Foundation. Tell us about that and why you established it in honor of your great-grandfather.
Yes, I formed the W.E.B. Du Bois Legacy Foundation last year, and I did it for several reasons. I found myself meeting people that didn't know who Du Bois was, or they heard the name but didn't know what he did. And so I believe that one of the things that he stood firmly on is always honoring the people that put us in the position that we're in. We were supposed to always remember those who gave us the rights and privileges that we have today. And there's so many African Americans to name, but Du Bois was one of the founding civil rights leaders and one of the most proud Black men there ever was, behind people like Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman. He fought long and hard for African descent people around the world. He wanted us to know about where we came from. And I felt like it would be an honor for me to start a foundation in his name and work at making people aware of their history. I partnered with a gentleman from Ghana by the name of Michael Orleans. He's the owner of Torchlight Tours.
Okay.
He and I have been bringing people from America over to Ghana and the surrounding areas, and giving them tours and teaching them about the history. And, they get to see places that, Kwame Nkrumah influenced. Speaking of that, I have built a strong relationship with Samia Nkrumah, and we are truly friends, not only through our relatives, but just our beliefs and how strongly we feel that we want to see Africa better. We want to see Africa have, it's got so many resources. It should be a superpower in finances, and we want to see Africa be all it can be, and we're proud of it. So, all I can say is there's so much work that Dr. Du Bois and Kwame Nkrumah were trying to accomplish when he passed away. Things happened after that, and now we are trying to revive and blow life back into what we believe Africa should be.
That's a lot of effort. That is not easy. Some have it as a walk in the park, and I know for sure that is not easy for you. It's like a walk in a zombie jungle, if I would say, because your great grandfather was such a radical person. Now, that leads me to this very question. With all that you're doing in honoring of your grandfather's legacy, how do you balance honoring him, with forging your own path?
I think I'm working at trying to shine a light on his legacy and the things that he's done, and I simultaneously am trying to establish my own legacy and my own life. But I'm walking down his footsteps as I attempt to build my own legacy and do what I believe our family would have me do in representation of Black excellence, in representation of those genes that I have been given down through the lines, DNA-wise, that make me special. And Du Bois always believed that people of African descent were very special, but he never once said that other people weren't special. All he said was he believed that God had blessed us with certain talents, and that we would use those talents to climb back to where we believe we should be as a people versus how we have been treated in the past as a people. We were never slaves, but we were enslaved. We were never not special. People said we weren't, but they said it because they never wanted us to know who we really were. And that's why they hide our history and they dilute the facts and they say negative things about such a powerful, unbelievable group of people from all over different areas of Africa. So I sit here today as a proud Black man in the United States, and I'm proud of where I came from and the legacy and the genes that I have acquired from Africa. And I think about Du Bois's feelings of how Black people need to know their history and more about where they came from and more about their capabilities and their greatness.
Greatness. Whoa, that's powerful. I'm very, very inspired by your use of Sankofa, because for the people who are listening to us, the Sankofa principle is a principle of return. It's an African principle of always remembering the past in order to move to the future. It is just an embodiment of what Jeffrey has mentioned. So, Jeffrey, I actually met you during the celebration of your great-grandfather when he was being put on the Sankofa wall. Now, coming to the motherland, seeing that there's a museum for your great-grandfather, and coming all the way, walking on the very same land, coming to another incredible place, which is the DAF Embassy, and then going all the way under the beautiful trees of the motherland and seeing that there is a wall that is also called Sankofa and holding your great-grandfather's name and putting it over there on that wall. How did that mean to you? And what do you have to say to the world about that?
Well, it was, I think, again, a very divine thing for me. I think God placed me in a position where I ran into and met Miss Ambassador Erica Bennett and Dr. Luck. I call her Mama T. But God placed me in a position where I could meet them because the rule is that a descendant has to place the name of that famous person on the wall.
Right.
And here we are, in a boundary inside a wall in a fortress named after Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois, but his name is not on the wall. So when I met them and they told me what they were wanting me to do, I felt like I'm so blessed because my brother came there years ago and he didn't get the honor of doing it. I got the honor of doing it, which meant that that's what God wanted to happen. And I came back. I told a lot of people about it. I posted some videos. It is still one of the highest ranking honors for me of all the things that I have done. But to put his name on the Sankofa wall in a fortress that is named after him and not far from the museum that's named after him, I don't know that words can express how special that was to me. But I will say that I want others to see the name and I want them to wonder who was this great man, and I want them to research him. And then once they know more, be inspired to be like him.
Right.
And that's he was a trailblazer. He was one of the first to do so many things. And his main goal was to show people that Black people are capable of anything. And debunked all of the stories of what we couldn't do. He did it. He proved it could be done, and it could be done by someone Black. Every room that my great-grandfather walked into, more than likely, he was the smartest guy in that room. And that speaks volumes because he's gone to some of the top universities in the world. So he wanted to prove to all that said we couldn't that we can. And I want the Black children in Africa to know that this great man was paving the way for them to show their greatness because of who they are and where they're from.
Well, because of who they are and where they are from. Oh, it has been such an awesome time with you. Before we draw down the curtains, do you have any more words to put out there? Kindly do share.
Yes, as far as here in the States, I'm so honored to see so many things happening in Du Bois's honor, as well as what's been going on in Africa. But just to name a few, they built a sculpture and put it in his hometown on the main drag called South Main in front of a library that all of his memorabilia is in. And on that bench that he's sitting on, his hand is outreached as if to say, here's a helping hand. And that's who he was, always helping others. Incredible historian, educator, civil rights leader, Pan-Africanist, poet, a humanitarian, environmentalist, and just a true lover of people. Uh, I also am honored to say that we're working on renaming a street at the University Atlanta Clark in Atlanta, Georgia. They're gonna name a street that goes through the university after him, and he used to actually walk on this street when he was teaching there way back in the 30s. Uh, Also, he is let's see, he is going to be honored next year. I'm sorry, this May in a documentary by a young lady named Rita Coburn. She's been working on this documentary since 2020, and she struggled with funds, but as God would see it, people are donating and helping to make it happen. So that's coming. There's just so much going on, and what I'm really happy about is Du Bois wasn't treated well when he was alive. But now finally people are starting to put a spotlight on his work and his name, and he's beginning to get his flowers. So I thank you all. I thank Ambassador Erica Bennett and Dr. Luck, and people like Jafet Aika, who was over the Museum Foundation, the current sitting president of Ghana, uh, just so many people that I want to thank, that I can't just pull their names up, but I just want to say it's a unified effort to uplift Du Bois's legacy and to show people what they're capable of, because he did it, they can do it. So I'm go ahead.
Great, because he did it, they can do it. Yes.
Yes. There's a book that I've been reading lately called In Battle for Peace. And in one of the chapters, chapter 2, it says the Council on African Affairs. And Du Bois talks about how other people that come from, say, Germany or Ireland or Scandinavia, they're proud of where they came from, and that he felt like African people should be proud of where they came from. Unfortunately, all the things that we would have known about our history didn't come with us. They were stripped from us. Many that came here originally celebrated and sang songs and did things in reference to Africa. Well, those things have slightly gone away. And so now being able to come back to the motherland and hear the songs and the celebrations and the certain phrases that are used in Africa give us a sense of pride of where we came from. And so Du Bois made the comment, I trust that the continent of Africa will bury me in my bones. And that's just what you all did. And he is where he belongs, in Ghana.
And he is where he belongs, here in Ghana. It was such a great time having you. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for joining us on this session of That Speaks as we highlight the Black History Month. Please do remember that anytime you come to Ghana, the motherland, do well to visit the W.E.B. Du Bois Museum, which is actually located at the cantonment in Accra, Ghana. And do make sure you visit your embassy. There's an embassy for the African diaspora, so do well to visit that. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. It was such a great time with you. And please do enjoy the rest of your day. It's a bye now.
Thank you, Charity. You do the same, and God bless Africa.